Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 119 of the 365 days Bible reading challenge. If you're watching on TikTok, if you're watching on YouTube, this is Through the Bible with Pastor Nesh, or TTB with Pastor Nesh, and this should be episode 153. And today we are reading 1 Chronicles chapter number 7, chapter number 8, chapter number 9, and chapter number 10. We read 1 Chronicles chapter number 7 in part 1. Then we read 1 Chronicles chapter number 8 and a part of chapter number 9 in part 2. This is part 3, and we want to continue. We have read up to verse 21 of 1 Chronicles chapter number 9, and now we want to continue from verse 22, even as we continue reading of the recordings that have been recorded of the children of Israel about their genealogies, their lineages, their families, and how they dwelt in the land of Canaan just before David became their leader or became their king. Now, verse 22, the Bible says, all these were chosen to be porters in the gates were 212. These were reckoned by their genealogies in their villages, whom David and Samuel the seer did ordained in their set office. Verse 23 says, so they and their children had the oversight of the gates of the house of the Lord, namely the house of the tabernacle by wards, and in the four quarters were the porters toward the east and west, north and south, and their brethren which were in their villages were to come after 7 days from time to time with them. For these Levites, the 4 chief porters were in their set office and were over the chambers and treasuries of the house of God. And they lodged around about the house of God, because the charge was upon them, and the opening thereof every morning pertained to them. And certain of them had the charge of the ministering vessels, that they should bring them in and out by tale. Some of them also were appointed to oversee the vessels and all the instruments of the sanctuary, and the fine flour, and the wine, and the oil, and the frankincense, and the spices. And some of the sons of the priests made the ointment of the spices. And Mattithiah, one of the Levites, who was the firstborn of Shallum, the Korahite, had the set office over the things that were made in the pans. And other of their brethren of the sons of the Kohathites were over the shewbread to prepare it every Sabbath. Verse 33 says, and these are the singers, the chief of the fathers of the Levites, who remaining in the chambers were free, for they were employed in that work day and night. These chief fathers of the Levites were chief throughout their generations. These dwelt in Jerusalem. Verse 35, and in Gibeon dwelt the father of Gibeon, Jehiel, whose wife's name was Maacah, and his firstborn son Abdon, then Zur, and Kish, and Baal, and Ner, and Nadab, and Gibeon, and Gidol, and Ahio, and Zechariah, and Mikloth, and Mikloth begat Shimeam, and they also dwelt with their brethren at Jerusalem over against their brethren. And Nebal begat Kish, and Kish begat Saul, and Saul begat Jonathan, and Malchishua, and Abinadab, and Eshbal. And the son of Jonathan was Meribal, and Meribal begat Micah, and the sons of Micah were Pithon, and Melech, and Tahareah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz begat Jarah, and Jarah begat Alemeth, and Ismaveth, and Zimri, and Zimri begat Moza, and Moza begat Bainea, and Rephaiah his son, Eliezer his son, Azel his son. Verse 44, which is the last verse of 1 Chronicles chapter number 9, says, and Azel had 6 sons whose names are these: Azrikam, Bocheru, and Ishmael, and Sheariah, and Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azer. Again, the genealogy runs us down and takes us up to the house of Saul. So this shows you that Saul was actually really honored in Israel. Even if he did evil in the eyes of the Lord and Lord departed from him, they still kept the honor of him as he should be honored as king over Israel, the first king in Israel. 1 Chronicles chapter number 10 verse 1, the Bible says, "Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa." I believe this is now the story of how King Saul, Jonathan, and all the other sons of Saul died. And the Philistines followed hard after Saul and his son, and after his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, the sons of Saul. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was wounded by the archers. And then said Saul to his armor-bearer, "Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and abuse me." But his armor-bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. So Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise on the sword and died. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and all his house died together. And when all the men of Israel that were in the valley saw that they fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, then they forsook their cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. Verse number 8 says, "And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And when they had stripped him, they took his head and his armor and sent into the land of the Philistines round about to carry tidings unto their idols and to the people. And they put his armor in the house of their gods, and fastened his head in the temple of Dagon. And when all Jabesh Gilead heard all that the Philistines had done to Saul, they arose, all the valiant men, and took away the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons, and brought them to Jabesh, and buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh, and fasted 7 days. Verse number 13. So Saul died, and for his transgression which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had familiar spirit to inquire of it. Verse number 14, which is the last verse of 1 Chronicles chapter number 10, and our last verse for today to read, says, "And inquired not of the Lord, therefore he slew him, and turned the kingdom unto David the son of Jesse." So what we have been reading, everything we have been reading has been one, to give us the account of the people that David is coming to rule over. Number 2, to lay a foundation for us that David did not usurp the authority of King Saul. Actually, we do not see David fighting for the throne. No. It was given to him by God because Saul had fallen off with God. He had done evil, and God was bound to destroy him eventually. And that is how David becomes king over Israel. Now, that is where the story has brought us to. Tomorrow we'll be going to another bunch of Psalms. We'll be reading Psalm 102, Psalm 103, and Psalms 104. We'll be reading 3 Psalms tomorrow, and so join me tomorrow as we continue with this journey through the Bible. Until tomorrow, may God bless you, may God keep you, may God lift you higher than I am. Shalom, and keep the faith.